Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Just Threat, where I am playing Final Fantasy XIV. Last episode we did a lot more quests over here in Western Lanoche, and today we're going to go and just continue doing this, because there's a lot of them around here. An adventure, are you? Seems a shame for you to come all the way out here without more to show for it. How about a bit of Valken hunting? There's a few killer mantis about on account of a hatching we missed. The commander sent out hunting parties and collected 10 and 6 heads. There's no more than 20 in a clutch. Think you can handle Blast 4? I very much think that I can. That is if there are more than, you know... Okay, yeah, there's one more over this way. I'm just gonna ignore this freaking firefly that's following me. There we go. Nasty critters, there's killer mantises. I'm sure Egamer would have... Airgamer would have wanted, wouldn't have wanted anyone dying near his resting place. Good hunting adventure. I see the birds flying to the nest. Time I return to the gate. Alirloof sent to be testing a new cannon. Like to blow himself to bits without me. Without me about. You can collect your pay from Commander Falk Breda at Camp Skull Valley. Be well, adventure. A 12 go with you. Right. Let's go and give the other boy his food and go and collect the umbrellas. If you've come looking for Star Red, you found him. Now, what of it? Ah, but what is it that you brought us? Salted fish? You insult my mum with brine-soaked brill while my brother dines on the fresh fruits of the sea? No sea wasp for you. You seem adventurer in need of work, and here I am a man in need of dead sea wasps. Perhaps we might help each other. Mind you, I have no interest in chewing on the vicious vermin myself. My brother can't seem to get enough of them. The uncouth cad. I'll not stand to watch him stuff his gob full of those prickly pests one more day. Ah, what I wouldn't give to see the look on his face when I tell him you've hunted down all his precious sea wasps. Don't expect me to reward you without proof. I'll need to see their rotting carcasses first. These two people are idiots. Whatever. I don't pay their sub. I hope that these count at the same time, if you know what I mean. That I can get, like, the two things I need from this. Yeah, boy. The fact that these things make sounds is also quite horrifying. Ah yes, look at my screen getting filled with blocks of text. And now we are, of course, missing one, because why would they put 8 enemies over here? This is a quest design choice that I really don't like in games, where it's like, alright, defeat a certain amount of these enemies. But the full amount of enemies that are over there are this amount. Like, are not the amount that you need. Basically making you wait for them to respawn. This game really does, like, make me fall asleep from time to time. Doesn't really help that I am ridiculously tired. It's not even like ridiculously... I guess I'm just tired. And as long as there's like not something that holds my interest constantly, then I just get really tired and I get sleepy. basically. Which is what's happening now, because I would love to continue, but I'm gonna fall asleep at this rate. I think I at one point even fell asleep during like an alliance raid. I seem to remember. I trust you're busy delivering those 3 wasp souls from the, to the deep. Just make sure you don't give their corpses to my brother. Forget that you're eating the rancid gelatinous umbrella of a flying jellyfish, and you might just enjoy it. Now this is what I deem a proper slaughter. Excellent. What remains to determine how to dispose of the wretched things. I suppose there must be somebody in my brigade that can stomach him. I imagine you've come bearing my sea wasp umbrellas, unless you've turned coat and given them to my brother, that is. Well, well, quite a catch indeed. Haha, splendid. Tonight we will feast on a jellyfish while my jealous fish of a brother drinks in his tears. It will be glorious. Glorious, glorious, it will be glorious, glorious. Right. I take it you witnessed their silly sibling rivalry firsthand, and now understand why some wonder whether the two can cooperate long enough to hold the wall. But nothing unites like a common enemy, and I have no doubt the brothers will set aside their petty differences when faced with the greater danger. Maelstrom needs your help. He would open South Tide Gate to welcome a returning detachment, but doing so would expose us to the Sahagin. Thus we aim to launch a diversionary attack along the north side and lure the Sahagin hordes away from the open gate. Seek out Northmoan at the North Tide Gate. The offensive falls under his command. Alin, you've become a familiar face around these parts. What brings you here today? The rest of the Killermancers. Well done. And I must commend Sergeant Robant for his quick thinking. You have the thanks of this camp. Sometimes I fear that we will lose the war against the Hagen for having to deal with pests and beasts. I hear you're leaving us then. News travels faster in encampment. Mayhaps you can assist us one last time on your journey out. I have a dispatch here to the Maelstrom Command from Commodore Raynar of the Yellow Jackets. We have been investigating the Sastasha secret on their orders, but it seems they've taken on an adventure of excellent repute and pleasing manner. The Commodore writes to complete the work. Now, if you... Yes? This is you he speaks of. Of course. Well, Camp Skull Valley would be glad to add the burnish of your repute. You have carried out your commission admirably well. Commodore Raynar and many others in command are of the same mind as I. That we have spread our forces too thin with these tasks. I am all too happy to withdraw our men from the caves, truth be told. Chief Sergeant Catgistel, what the fuck, is the ranking officer at the Sastasha Secret. Locate him and tell him that his mission is complete and he is ordered to report back to Scope Valley. Alright. So you've come to help bail my beleaguered brother out from under Trouble's foot once more? Very well, all you need to do is slay a pair of skittish little sea slugs. That ought to summon a lot of them. There we go. Sure as rain, our subtle stratagem drew the suddenly sea clouds away from the open gates. The men of the detachment sent their gratitude. There we go. And then one more quest to finish off over here. And then we do the Sahagin, we can unlock the Sahagin Beast Tribe. And then it's time to move on to the next region. Halt, adventurer. Do you mean to enter this Astasha Sea Grot? I would advise against it. You'll likely perish in its labyrinthine depths. Trust me, were it not for sheer strength of will, I'd not be standing here. What am I doing out here, you ask? This is a comely spot for strategizing, I find. Far better than the labyrinthine depth of the cave, my friend. In there, none shall hear you scream, particularly since everybody else has been reassigned. Me, as well, you say? Back to Camp Skull Valley, and away from the labyrinthine depths of that hellhole. Most excellent. I have my principles, and would willingly have sacrificed my life for the mission, but I am not grieved to cede that prospect to you. And bid this grot good day. My place is at a fort or on the battlefield, not crawling around a dank cave with coils of rope and sheafs of paper, fearing I shall never see daylight again. I warn you, friends, there's much danger in those depths. It is what is the word labyrinthine, I tell you. Jesus. God, jeez, this guy stinks. Clutch and kin. You witnessed the aftermath of the attack of in the Strait of Malther. Yes, it was indeed perpetrated by the Sahagin. Individuals responsible are called the Coral Tridents. They reside in the Sapsa spawning grounds, and are known amongst our people as a volatile and fanatical faction. We had hoped to prevent them from ever reaching that vessel, but alas, the current was not in our favor. Foolishness. Their actions only invite further violence through retaliation. And what of Nov and his clutch, you ask? We live apart from the spawn grounds, and pursue a separate agenda. I do not claim to understand the structure of your civilization, but for us Sahagin, each clan of clutch mates is led by a single clutch father. The indigo matriarch, which you may call our queen, bestow each of the clutch of her eggs upon only the bravest and most seasoned warriors. It is then a clutch father's duty to raise and instruct his charges in the ways of our people. But for this cycle to continue, the matriarch must have a secure environment in which to bear her offspring. That is why we chose to make this land our home. It is unfortunate, then, that the Sapsa spawning grounds have become the locus of such conflict, if only more shore workers like you and spent a moment to understand our situation. Were like you, I say. Clutch father, I need your counsel. What have I taught you, Sue? A Sahagin does not flail and splash about. He rolls with the waves and rides the currents. Forgive me, Clutch father. It is Piu, our sixth youngest brother. What of him? He has left the nursery without permission, and he spoke of talking Shenshin to the Coral Trident. His brain is as soft as his spawnling scales, and this at a time when I cannot afford to take my eyes off the rest of the clutch. Though our stance towards each other is not yet clear, Showwalker, I would ask a boon of you. Save my foolish son. Sue and Sue here will have more to say on the subject, I am sure. You have no skills, and yet the Clutchfather seems to trust you. I shall do the same. As you just heard, my brother Pio has taken it upon himself to educate the Coral Trident. He's one of our more impetuous spawn brothers, and yet young. He does not realize the peril he puts himself in. The Tridents will not listen to Pio's reasoning. They will laugh as they impale him on their spears. Please, bring Pio back safely to the nursery. By now, he must be some distance across the land base. Closer to North Tide Gate. The other side. This concerns you not, Shorewalker. Away with you, finless one. That was the wrong move. Whatever. Aiding. Aiding. I forgot to block the chat. GG. Rescued by a shore walker. What am I to tell Clutchfather or not? Spawn Brother Sue did come to my aid. I do not understand these coral trident warriors. I scarce opened my maw before they proceeded to beat me bloody. The Clutchfather always says the currents of discussion carry us to enlightenment, but it seems the words of a spawnling count for little and less. I simply wanted to put into practice what my clutchmates and I had been taught. Now I surely face punishment in addition to my beating. Welcome back, Shorewalker. You are kind to endanger yourself, though you always know such loyalty. You will be appropriately disciplined for his reckless actions. Now, more than ever, the Sahagin must act with caution and wisdom. Many of our people reside peacefully within our city of the Indigo Deep, but our civilization faces a steady and treacherous decline. We must venture onto lands to secure spawning grounds to lay our eggs, and build nurseries to raise our young. It is an essential element of our breeding cycle, an instinct too powerful to ignore. Our traditional spawning grounds were, however, annihilated in the calamity. Thus, were we forced to seize this new location, the region the Finlanders once called Western Nanosh. It is not surprising that the Shorewalkers view our sudden aggressive expansion as not more than an invasion. This seemingly unprovoked attack on their territory is, in truth, a desperate struggle for our survival. Without this land, without a place to rear offspring, the Sahagin race is doomed. We are in no position to wage war against the Shorewalkers. We must attempt to parley and learn to exist side by side. The Coral Tridents, as you have no doubt realized, do not comprehend the merits of a diplomatic approach. They seek only to control the weak of mind, those like their brutal serpent reavers, and slaughter all those who oppose them. Do not mistake me as a traitor to my kind. I hold no love for Finland's ones. I shed no salty tears when the great Leviathan is summoned and the Lord of the Whirl gathers new drowned shorewalkers into his fold. But conflict with your peoples is not the answer to our woes. You must look beyond the present and ensure calmer waters. Waters in which the future of our race can thrive. Shorewalker, your arrival is a precious gift. And have you become the first stone on the bridge? Or in the bridge, I hope to build between our peoples. And the rock which blunts the mindless spears of the Coral Tridents. I pray you, lend us your aid. I swear myself to your noble cause. Pshh. I don't believe I can trust you. Your presence is most welcome, Shorewalker. My warriors are eager but lack the experience to engage such vicious opponents as the Coral Tridents. We will halt the Zealots' advance at the shoreline and begin to repair the damage they have done to our chance at peace. There is much work ahead, but together we can put an end to this meaningless bloodshed. Complete. As we unlock the Noth Clutch. So we now have Gilling Me Softly. We now have another beast wipe quest stuff, which I will do, of course, off camera. These quests are are just repeatable quests. They're the same. They're not particularly super interesting, so let us finally go to Upper Lanosh, the next region that we need to clear side quest off. Right. Bloggy ball. I am going to not stand too close to you. Well met, adventurer. I suffered a maelstrom black sails, or did, until I suffered grievous wounds in a battle with the kobolds. I was invalided, and sent here. We will take this to my commanding officer in Camp Overlook. It's a request for reinstatement. It ill suits my nature to lie abed. I was told my duty was to recover, and I have been dutiful. But surely they do not mean for me to wait until every last bit of flesh is knitted together. I can hold an axe. That should be enough. Between here and Camp Overlook is kobold territory, as the crow flies. I suggest you be smart about it. Go to Gigerwoon's trading post, take a boat across the lake. From there, head north to Outer Lanosh. That's interesting, but that's not what I'm gonna do. I also forgot that I need to go to Thanalan for some kind of reason. Yeah, let me go and do that now, I guess. Why the hell not? Where are my letters? My Vespa Bay Easter egg tickets. Away! Oh yeah, right. That still belongs to the Waking Sand side quest. I forgot about that. I did. Hello. Ah, Lynn. So good of you to return. Tales of your deed precedes you. Knowing Lim's elements lay in good hands allowed us to tend to matters of import elsewhere. But I'm relieved to have you back with us all the same. Much work remains for Eorzea. Or for the realm, whatever. Let's go over here. Gotta go and get back over there. And get even more quests. Red wine. We used mulled wine from Wineport to treat the war wounded. It restores the bodily humors and gives vigor to hearts made weary by fever. Why don't you put yourself to some good use, adventure? I prepared some mulled wine earlier, and I need it heated to make warm wine. Will you submerge these bottles in the hot spring over yonder and serve them to those that need it sorely? As you know from your prior visits, we treat the wounded from the front with all our arts and with the healing waters of the hot springs, whatever. We serve soldiers, but for some unaccountable reason, we have a goldsmith here at present. He simply showed up, and we could hardly turn him away. And now he is asking for salamander oil, but we cannot spare any. I find the entire situation awkward in the extreme. Would you extract 4 vials worth of oil from the salamanders, rowing nearby, and give them to the goldsmith? Okay, before we continue, I'm first gonna go and take a little bit of a snack break, because I need to eat something.